23 Papa, contact Centennial Tower, 118.9er.
Okay, 118.9er, 23 Papa, have a great night.
You're flying into Rocky Mountain Metro with VFR flight following from Denver approach, and you're getting pretty close to Metro's airspace, but you're still talking to approach. So, can you enter Metro's Class Delta? You are talking to ATC. Some of you are shaking your head no right now, and you're right. You are talking to ATC, but not the right ATC. To enter Class Delta airspace, you need to communicate with the air traffic control facility in control of that airspace. And in this case, that's Metro Tower. So that's who you need to call. Flight following can be a great asset. It's helpful to have that second set of eyes. But ask a tower controller about airspace incursions, and you'll find that VFR pilots enter Class Delta airspace under flight following without contacting tower way too frequently. So, what's the deal? If flight following is supposed to help, why can it get us in trouble? It helps to understand what flight following really provides. Radar air traffic control facilities like TRACON or Center can provide VFR aircraft with radar traffic information service. That's flight following's official name. You have to request it, and the controller provides it if they have time. The call-up is simple. You let them know who you are, where you are, and what you want, flight following. They'll take your aircraft information, give you a squawk code, and build out a data block. We use flight following on a VFR trip from the Cheyenne area to Pueblo, Colorado. Here's our initial call-up.
Denver Center, Sirius 527, Lima Delta. We're northeast of Cheyenne. Would like flight following to Pueblo.
Northeast of Cheyenne. Hang on 1 second. Give me your full call sign again for me.
Yeah, 527 Lima Delta.
527 Lima Delta. Let's see here. Let's get you a code. Go ahead and squawk 0662 for me.
0662, 527 Lima Delta.
527 Lima Delta, roger. Radar contact as reported. Show you 13.5 VFR. The altimeter is 3020. And tell me type aircraft and where are you going again?
Yeah, we're an SR-22 Turbo. We're en route to Pueblo. We're going to cut east of the Bravo, 527 Lima Delta.
Got it. Thank you, sir.
The weather on our trip was tough. Areas of thunderstorms scattered around Denver. DIA had closed several times for the storms, so the airlines were stacked in holding everywhere. So we used flight following to help identify traffic, even though we would stay east of Denver's Class Bravo airspace. ATC can help you find routes that will keep you clear of traffic. Navigation is up to you, and you don't have to accept their advice as long as you remain in Echo or Gulf airspace, but it can be a big asset, like this aircraft crossing over Denver's Bravo.
Force Sierra Mike, you're planning to stay above the Bravo?
That's affirmative. Force Sierra Mike, we're going to get to the other side and then drop down.
All right, that's going to cause a lot of problems, these ILS approaches to Denver. Do you really need to do that?
Yeah, we can do whatever you guys need.
All right, yeah, I mean, with the weather right now and deviations everywhere, it'd really help us out if you can get beneath this Bravo, and we can get you a little shortcut, but if you can't, flying at 260 for now.
260 for Force Sierra Mike. They just got airplanes everywhere up there, that's the problem. Yeah, it is a big mess. What did he say? He said he needed to go through, but I didn't understand what he actually said.
The area. We'll go down below the Bravo and just follow I-25 south at probably about 7,500. Does that work for you guys?
Yeah, that would be very helpful. I appreciate that. Thanks.
No problem. We'll get down, and once we get down below the Bravo, we'll be following I-25 for Force Sierra Mike.
And many ATC facilities can overlay weather radar on their screens, so they can help you avoid thunderstorms and precipitation. Even with Sirius XM weather on board, we're glad to have all the help we can get.
527 Lima Delta, radar has picked one area of moderate heavy precip 11 o'clock in about 40 miles or so. Looks like you made the turn and you're going to be on the west side of it, but if you're going to be pretty close to it, I guess, maybe 5 or 6 miles. I'm sure you can see it better than I can.
Yeah, 527 Lima Delta, we're watching it right now. We're probably going to deviate heading to the right here so we get a little closer.
Okay.
And ATC can help you avoid airspace. It's your responsibility to navigate, and they may not see you entering airspace in enough time to warn you, but you can always ask them questions, like this exchange.
And Belanca 028, just want to make sure that you are aware that you can fly underneath the Bravo. The shelf, the bottom, the floor of the Bravo there is 8,000, so as long as you're beneath anything below 8,000, you can go right underneath it if you want to turn further to the right to get on course.
direct front range at below 8,000, right?
No, you cannot go direct front range from there because the Bravo goes lower and lower the closer you get to Denver Airport.
But all of this help is just that, help. It's our responsibility to navigate and our responsibility to make sure we contact Tower before entering their airspace. Tower and radar facilities work together to create procedures for arriving IFR aircraft. At Rocky Mountain Metro, Tower looks for inbound IFR aircraft on their STARS radar display, and Denver TRACON includes the type of approach flown in the aircraft's data block. When the aircraft leaves approach for Tower, they keep their squawk code. The data block doesn't change, and the Tower can monitor the aircraft's arrival. Plus, Tower knows you're coming. They have your IFR flight strip with your call sign, type, and flight plan. VFR aircraft might have a flight strip if they ask for flight following, but it only includes your call sign and your type, so Tower doesn't know where you're coming from. They don't know where to look for you. And when you squawk VFR, any information ATC placed in your radar data block disappears. In fact, in most situations, the radar controller doesn't coordinate with Tower at all. That's up to you. ATC often terminates flight following as you approach your destination, asking if you have the airport in sight, and then instructing you to squawk VFR once you report it in sight. But you can initiate the switch as well. When I'm within 10 miles of my destination, I'll terminate flight following so that I have the time to coordinate with Tower. Here's our arrival into Pueblo, Colorado.
Endeavor approach, Cirrus 527 Lima Delta. Would like to terminate VFR flight following.
Are you inbound to the Tower?
We're going to switch over to Tower 527 Lima Delta.
Lima Delta, roger. Remain on your present squawk. Contact Tower on 119.1.
119.1. Thanks for the help today. 527 Lima Delta.
Yeah.
Okay. Pueblo Tower, Cirrus 527 Lima Delta is with you 10 miles to the northeast. Information India to land.
Cirrus 527 Lima Delta, Pueblo Tower. Enter a left downwind for runway 8 right.
Left downwind for runway 8 right, 527 Lima Delta.
But if the frequency is congested, that 10 miles can disappear quickly. So, then what? First, don't enter Tower's airspace. Turn to avoid it. I like to give Tower at least a mile buffer. Second, don't drop off the radar controller's frequency. Wait for a break and then terminate traffic advisories. Then contact the Tower so that you can enter their airspace. Tower needs to call you back using your call sign before you enter. This scenario happened to us on a return flight from Pueblo back to Rocky Mountain Metro.
Skywest 5008, maintain 280 knots or greater.
280 or better on the speed, Skywest 5008.
Skywest 5978, maintain 280 knots.
280 knots, Skywest 5978.
9565, traffic no factory, contact Denver Center 128.65.
12825, United 565.
Negative 2865.
65, okay.
Contact 170, contact approach 128.45.
845, 12170.
Denver approach 527 Lima Delta, like to terminate radar advisories, please.
Cirrus 7 Lima Delta, roger, radar service terminated, squawk VFR, frequency change approved.
VFR frequency change approved, good day, 7 Lima Delta. Metro Tower, Cirrus 527 Lima Delta is about 6 miles south of the airport, flying westbound, information Foxtrot, inbound to land.
Number 7 Lima Delta, Metro Tower, roger, enter right base, runway 12 left, clear to land.
Right base, 12 left, clear to land, thank you, 7 Lima Delta.
When you're flying VFR, flight following is always a great asset, but it's not a clearance into airspace. Give yourself time to switch over to Tower on arrival, and if you can't make that switch, stay out of Tower's airspace, because I only like to surprise Tower with my smooth landings and not a sneaky entry.